Hello everyone, welcome to iPi Motion Capture Studio. So we've been working for quite a while on our project of Emo Girl, which is a Retop project. We're going to be working in iPi Studio, and eventually we're going to bring it into our studio here. So today what we're going to work on is going through some of the UI here in iPi Motion Capture. And it's a little bit interesting if you've never been here before, because we have the other program, iPi Recorder, which we do all of our capture in first, and then we have to bring those files into the studio. So they're two separate programs. The iPi Recorder is a free program. iPi Mocap Studio is not a free program. So to begin with, we're going to kind of go through the UI here. Up top here, these are your your standard drop downs. You got new project, open project. Now, a new project is going to bring in the iPi Recorder files. If we don't do that, we'll have to go to our open project. Now, when you save inside of Mocap Studio, it'll save as a Mocap Studio file type. You'll see over here it says iPi Motion. That means that you're inside the studio. And iPi Calib, that is inside of the recorder. Now, so anyways, let's just kind of get in here and I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about. So new project is where we're going to start. We'll go to new project, and we're going to go and pull in our calibration file. So iPi video, that's the extension for all the recorder files. So we go iPi video test calibration. We'll go ahead and open that one. Now it'll go through some automated stances here, which is making sure that once we go into this, that everything you did was correct. We have action project or calibration project. We're doing a calibration project, so we'll just go ahead and hit next from here. Here's one of those automated processes I was telling you about. They want to say, did you turn, so we're using PSIs, did you turn it, the blue dot all the way to the right to make sure that your field of view was at 75 degrees field of view? We did. If you didn't, you could have some mixed results as far as what will happen with your video. So we'll go ahead and hit finish. Alright, so what will happen here now is you see how it's all black up here? Now there's 6 different cameras we use for our motion capture, and you can see that there's 6 different cameras up here as well. So where's this camera up here? They're all darkened because we're doing a calibration. So the way the calibration works is it's looking for one dot generated by a light that you'll be holding, and you're using that to establish the ground plane for the motion capture. So what we're going to do is we'll just simply hit calibrate over here, and I'll kind of explain this going through the process. It takes a couple minutes. So you see this little light here that's going, and there's this little red blinking box, and what's going on here is the computer saying, I see the brightest light in the room, and this is where it's at in this camera view. If we go to these other camera views, we can rotate around the room, and sometimes it goes out of view. Like I may block the light for a minute, and at those points, the camera's like, I don't see it. But when you're seeing this little blinking box, this camera is seeing it. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to get as many of the cameras to see the light in the same spot at the same time, because then all the cameras can agree that this one spot here is a place inside of 3D space, which helps it establish its area of interest or region of interest. So you can hardly see it. There's some blue tape going along here. This is our target area. And if you look over here down the right, this is you should see this process happen. So the first of 2 steps is detecting the flashlight marker. Depends on how fast your computer is. This could take anywhere from a minute to 10 minutes. It's kind of hard to say. It really depends on your processor and graphics card. For me, it takes a couple minutes to go through each step of this process. So you do have to play the patience game with this particular program. It is really hard on your resources on your computer, because it just sucks everything you possibly can give it to process all these calculations. Okay, so I get this warning up here. It says initial marker detections found camera with high percentage of missed detection markers. So camera 3, 20% of it missed. Camera 6, 15% of it missed. Then I'll give you these reasons why this might have happened. Poor lighting, Could be marker getting out of camera sight. Marker is often occluded by a person, so when I step in front of the camera, sometimes I block the light. So I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just go ahead and continue. And now you'll see these little green dots. And what's going on here is the computer is going through and calculating based on all the different camera positions to see where to grease. You see how these little dots are moving along the green lines, saying, okay, where is the ground plane at? The computer's trying to figure out where the ground plane is at. It needs 5 ground points to be able to establish a good ground plane. So that means that you need to take your marker as you're calibrating, and inside your region of interest you need to touch the ground 5 different times, usually on the corners and then 1 in the center, so that they can find these anchor points that will tell the computer this is where the ground is. Everything else is inside of the sky somewhere around your body where it's supposed to be targeting. So the green dots here are areas that all 3 or all 6 of the cameras are seeing that light at the same time. The red dots are usually spots where one camera sees it but none of the other cameras see it. So those are usually included light points. So the computer doesn't really like those. They'll leave them red until it confirms from other camera points that yes, indeed, they saw those dots as well. I'm not really overly concerned about the red dots, to be dead honest with you. As long as I get my ground points all set up and the arcs that go down to them are nice and clean, those usually mean that we got a good setup going for establishing our ground plane. Okay, so looks like I got about less than a minute left. I'll kind of explain what's going on the top up here. So go along here a little bit further on. Once we're done calibrating, we can save this out as a calibration file. Again, we have a save function here that'll auto save it for us. We have our 6 cameras, so we can rotate our views to get a better track, or if we need to move things around, we can change our camera view right up here. Video, this is kind of like an opacity fade. So let's say like you're working afterwards with your mocap, you don't really care to see the background. You can fade this out and you can see just your character. Jumping down here, and I'm going to go over this again a little bit later on, but these are your region of interest markers, so you can just go ahead and move your little scrub ticker, this thing right here. This whole gray bar is your region of interest, meaning your video. If you take this gray ticker here, bring it back to the beginning, and click this one will say this is the start of your region of interest. Drag it over this way, and you can define your region of interest and put this one over here. Okay, so mine's done, so I'm done jaw jacking while we're waiting. Okay, so it says perfect, 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 perfect. All these cameras are fine. There's some misdetects, but it's okay. And it found out the ground heights, they're right there, so that's all good. So I can go ahead and save this app. So I'm gonna go ahead and file, save project as, and I'll just call it test calibration. So this is the same exact file. I've already gone through and done this once before, so I'm just going to be reiterating here. I'll just save over the top of it. So I'll save it. Yes, go ahead and replace it. Okay, so that is just the calibration part. We're not even into the mocap part yet. It's essentially the same program, but it's a different approach. So it needs this particular file first before we go and do the action stuff, because if we don't have this first, then we won't be able to match our T-pose character up with our actor. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into that. We'll go to File, New Project again. This time we'll bring in our action, so Coral Action Test. Go ahead and open. Is anybody real here? I need some fact checks. I need more realness. Need you to act less, because they deserve Oscars. So many imposters. Okay, here's our action folder. Go ahead and hit next. So it's giving me a warning since it's a locked format. I'm working with an expired version of this. I haven't paid my monthly subscription, so just telling me that I can go ahead and still work in iPi and process stuff, but everything will be locked until I pay my subscription again. So I can still go through and do stuff. I just can't work with this outside the program. So that's fine for now. Go ahead and go next. And one actor. Yeah, that's fine. And I am a male. And I believe that I had a t-shirt on this one, so let's go ahead and put that in there. Finish. So now you can see that like my actor over here, or my character here is on a ground plane, roughly in the same spot that I am. And if I go to these other spots, you can see that it's pretty close to the same. The ground plane is established so that in every view, this guy is on the same kind of ground plane that I'm on. Okay, so let's go and look at these tabs up here. First one says Scene, Actor, Tracking, Pose, Export, Batch, and IOMEC. So the first one we want to look at is Actor. So I want to make sure my actor is actually sized up to my main camera. Before we actually even go there, let's go to the Scene tab. This doesn't have a whole lot of options here. We don't have to really tune anything here. Shouldn't have to anyways. But what you do want to do is place light to current virtual camera. That'll make it toward this camera that I'm currently looking through, camera 1, is getting the best light so for tracking purposes. So I'll put this on here, and I'll light my character up and give me a little better tracking on this particular camera. Okay. Now I can go to Actor. I want to change his size. Right now he's a little too short, so I need to make him about as tall as I am. So I'll just scale him up on the height to where he's close to my height. It's important that my shoulders are the same height. The head, not as important. So that'll work for now. I want to move and rotate it, so I'm going to go to Move. So this little gizmo will pop up over here. It gives me essentially a lot of functionality. I have the Move here, and I have this little wheel here that'll make it to where I can rotate it. So if I left mouse button click on this wheel, I can rotate the character to where now he's facing the same way as I'm facing. We can go ahead and move him into position to where he is now essentially in the same spot that I'm in. Okay. I'm on it. Okay. So now I have him mashed up in one view, but it's not in all views. So I want to go ahead and hop over to camera 2 and see how that looks. Might have some discrepancies here. So let's say I'm going to move just a little bit in that way. Check that one. Push it back in this one. Okay, that's okay. Okay. Alright, that's fine. Okay, so they're all just a little bit off, but if I push in one, it's going to move into another, so this is going to work for now. If I want to adjust like body mass, with my arms up, it makes it look like I need to be wider, but I know that I'm not a bad dude. So once I put my arms down, it's just a button-up shirt, so it's very wide when I put my arms up. I'll give myself a little bit more body mass, but I don't really need a whole bunch. Just put it out like that. That should be fine. So then I'll go to Auto Detect Colors. Okay. We'll run through this whole process. And basically what's going on here is iPi is trying to figure out where my pants are, what color they are, my shirt, what color that is, and they're assigning the bones to a particular color. So like when it says my pants are jean colored, like okay, well the legs when they move, that's essentially how they're the camera they're assigning what's moving and what needs to be moved on the joints. So okay, went through and decided that my pants are a darker color, and I have a gray shirt on, and it does the hair color and all that as well. So from here I can go ahead and test and see if this is gonna work as far as the pose goes. So you'll do refit pose, and the first thing that iPi is going to do is it's going to try to take my character and fit him to how I'm standing here. So if it works perfectly, we'll be good to go. Refit pose. Okay. Wiggle it a little bit, but he is now. My hands are matched up, head's matched up, feet are matched up. Perfect. Okay. So now we're into the spot where we need to be able to go in and decide how we're going to process this. So if I was going to go ahead and try to track this entire scene out, it would take a while. So we can go ahead and just test to see how long this is going to take. We'll go ahead and track just for a second so you can see how long the runtime would be, and then we'll see about breaking this up into sections. So the next tab
Your
here,
business is growing,
Actor,
which means
is
now
one
you
we're
need
currently
to
on.
hire
We're going to go
more
over to
people.
tracking.
The
So now that's been
searching, the
refitted, we can
email,
go
let me
ahead
start.
and do
ZipRecruiter. Whether you're
track
looking to fill
forward.
one position or 20,
Something I
ZipRecruiter
want
makes
to point out
hiring
though,
simple. One click
stiff
and your
lower
job is
spine tends
posted
to
to over
have
100 job sites. Use ZipRecruiter's
makes
dashboard
it to
to
where
easily
he like likes to
screen
stick
and
his chest
evaluate
out, and
candidates
it's really
and
weird.
find the right hire
I've
fast.
had better results with
ZipRecruiter,
flexible
the
lower
fastest way to
spine and
hire.
very
Now try
flexible.
ZipRecruiter free.
So let's
Just click
try
the
just
banner
doing
now or go to
flexible lower spine for now, and
ZipRecruiter.com/Pandora.
we'll go with
That's
that.
ZipRecruiter.com/Pandora.
So yeah, let's just go with that for now. I'm not going to bother with enable head tracking. That usually makes my head bobble unless I have a motion controller attached to it. So we'll deal with motion controllers in a later lesson. Alright, so we're going to track forward just for a second so we can see how long this is going to take. So you track forward. Okay. And he's got a timer getting ready to start. Okay, so we're looking at about an hour and a half to track this whole thing. We're not going to be sitting here taking an hour and a half to track up our entire video. Okay, guys? That's just not going to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this. Right. And realistically, I'm not going to track out this entire thing in this video anyways. My computer isn't fast enough to track out this whole thing in a matter of a couple of minutes. I have a computer at the college that can do that, but my computer at home isn't that fast. So let's see here. I'm gonna go. So if you look at how I have it right now, I'm in T-pose right now. But if I scrub, so that this little, if you look where my mouse is down here, this is the scrub ticker. If you take this right here, you can scrub through my action sequence. But if you look, I don't actually drop out of T-pose till about right there. So having my computer process everything that's behind this, where it's at right now, is kind of a waste. So a waste of time, a waste of keyframing. So let's go ahead and edit from this point forward. So to do that, we're going to adjust our ROI. So this is where we adjust our ROI, is these two guys here. And as you float around the top of these guys, this lets you kind of like equip these little helper thing to tell you exactly what these things do. So it helps you out quite a bit. So anyways, this is the beginning one, so we're going to click on this one. And you see how the gray got shortened up, right? So now it's now where my movie ticker is, or my little scrub ticker is. So now I need to also decide how far do I want this to go. Because I might not want to track everything out at once. I probably don't, because sometimes when the computer is tracking this stuff out, it might not track something accurately, which means you need to be able to go in and say, okay, this needs to change. I might edit my action sequence. So I'm going to have my arms go forward and walk forward like that. And let's say that this point here is where I want it to stop. So I'm just going to go to my end of ROI, and it shortens my gray region up so that now this is my area of interest, okay? So these will kick you back. So if you hover over the top here, it says go to the first frame. The first frame of your region of interest. So if you want, if you're over here and you want to go back, you just click on this guy, it'll bring you right back to being your region of interest. If you want to go to the end, you go to the end. Sometimes you want to kind of go back and forth on how you fix some things. So you can track forward and backwards. The reason why you have a back and jump as well. Okay, so I do have to go through and reposition this guy, so I have to go through and double down on that whole fitting process. But I just go back to refit pose, and after a second, it's good to go. Okay, so let's go ahead and start tracking forward, and as it's doing it, I'll explain some more of the tabs here. So we'll track forward from this point here, and see how much time that's going to take us. Okay, it says about 13-12 minutes-ish. Maybe a little bit less, and that's about how long we have left in our video. We have about 11 minutes before we hit our 30-minute mark, so we'll process out some of this, and I'll just kind of discuss what's going on as it's moving along here. So right now it's going through processing. If you look down a little bit lower here, there's a post-processing here. It says jitter removal. As we go through in Mocap, this is something that we'll be using. So the trajectory filter, right now it's set to 1, which is that'll make it to where it'll knock off a bit of the jitters, make it realistic enough. The more you go towards smooth, the less sharp movements you have. So, and it also takes a lot more processing. So usually keep it between 1 and 2. If you go over a 3 and 4, like you're losing some of your Mocap data. So this is specific for post-process. Don't use this section here until everything is already been processed and fixed. Otherwise, you know, you lose data when you use this. Okay, so let's see here. Yeah, it's not going to let me go through the chat while it's processing. So we'll just like go through a few minutes of this and see how it goes. And I'll kind of explain some of this other stuff as we're going over here. Yeah, it's not letting me highlight anything. You can. I'll explain these two areas here. Now, I don't like doing this, but you have left hand, right hand. You can individually add keyframes through these two functions right here on like the fingers or the hands. To be honest with you though, I've always found that it's way easier to deal with that kind of animation inside of Maya than trying to hand animate fingers and hands inside of motion capture. This software isn't built for doing individual keyframes, so I really recommend not using this at all. Let's see here. You can create takes. This is kind of like the ROI, where you have the start and end. And what that does is, like, you see how it says green down here, and this is the takes. So you can say this is going to be take 1, and then you can export individual takes. That can be handy. You can create your own clips inside most external programs, so it doesn't seem like it's super necessary, but it is a feature that's in here. So if you want to export, like, just cut out the clip you want and use it that way. That's another way to go about doing it. Let's see here. Here's really dogging this. Really doesn't like using it. Yeah, you can name your takes. So that's what this icon here does. And make sure you can, so if you're exporting it over to another program, you can call it take 1, take 2, or walk 1, punch 1. Honestly though, like I said, this whole area here that takes most external programs like Maya, 3ds Max, Motion Builder, they all handle creating takes a lot better than this particular software does. Okay, so I'm going to actually stop this for now, just so we can kind of, I can show you the end product that will get us through, and I can show you some more of the UI. So I'll just go ahead and stop this one now. You can see what it's done so far. So we have, you know, just a start to that, not a full bunch. Let's go ahead and open here we go. This is the same file, it's just been already processed out, so you guys don't have to sit here for an hour waiting for this. Yeah, I know this is expired. So now we can go ahead and hit play, and you can see what it'll look like as we go through. So here we go. You can see me walking around the scene here. Yes, so if you have a question about interacting with things in the scene, that is totally works inside of iPi. You can totally interact with stuff, fall stuff, throw stuff. Also, I'd like to point out that this whole 6 camera system, I have 3 in the front, 3 in the back. You want to experiment a little bit with this, but definitely make sure you have a solid background. the more noise you have, the more problems you have with tracking. But this 6 camera system seems to work really good for tracking forward, backward motion, and does a really good job. So, and the PSIs are, you know, the cheap camera. So 6 cameras that shoot 60 frames per second. You get all 6 of them for like, you know, $3 or $4 a piece off of Amazon. So it's a good way to go. Pretty cheap and it does a really good job. Okay. Alright, so that is the finished mocap. And if I wanted to bring off the video so you can just see the actor running around, I'll do it that way too. So there's the actor. There he goes. Walking around. I didn't run jitter removal on this yet. And you can see that he's got like his stomach kind of sticking out. That's because he has stiff lower spine still on. So you want to have flexible on so it doesn't do that. There we go. Okay, so that's good. Let's yeah, we'll deal with some of this stuff a little bit later on. I do want to show you guys a little bit on how to fix some things that may not be working right. So we can go and bring this this video back. So turn the video fader over here back up, bring our cameras back. We'll fade the skin back down. So there was a spot in here where I went and reached down to pick something up, and the arms kind of jumped away from me. It might be right here. Okay, so here's a good example of an area where we can still improve our models a bit. So we can try a couple different things here. Let's first look at the broken area. We'll just go ahead and say that this is our area of interest. And then here's where it comes back, so we need to fix somewhere in between here. So again, make sure that this is light's placed on this one. Let's go ahead and try to get this view to work. So what we'll do is we'll activate our eye case. That makes it to where I can just grab a hand and move it to where I want it to be. So I can grab that one, or I can grab this one, and I can just move it straight down so that it's reaching to where I'm at. And this might be actually an example of why you need to have a flexible spine on, because he's just not bent down far enough to reach as far as my hands are reaching. But let's see if we can get this to work. So we're going to go tracking and refit pose. Okay, so that worked. The arms are now down, kind of like mine are. Let's first say that, so we can retain that, that this is going to be, we'll cut off the area of interest and come back and start from here. But I'm going to track backwards and see if I can get that to come back to where I started at. So I'll use the track backwards. I was wondering if there's going to be a pop-up for the refine backward, because that might be a new feature. But anyways, we can go ahead and track backwards here. Was there something a couple minutes, but it's fine. Let's go ahead and stop it right there. Let's take that IK again over in this other hand. Refit pose. Seems to be really confused about this hand here. It's probably just too close to the skin color. My arm's too close to the skin color of the ground. Let's see if this one over here helps. still let me in. No, didn't like that. Let's go ahead and move this one back again. No, I can't. Let's make sure the light's set to this one. Okay. And we'll go ahead and put those in. There we go, that's better. Alright, let's continue tracking backwards.
Does one hard drive still back up your data? All alone in a computer universe teeming with dangerous threats, trying to protect you from viruses, ransomware, natural disasters, computer mayhem. That poor old hard drive doesn't stand a chance. But Feynman Group can protect you with their latest cloud backup technology. Call Feynman Group today for a free backup analysis.
Welcome back, high school class of 2000. Now let's fill up that dance floor.
Still think busting a move at your reunion is to blame for your back pain? Ouch! You could be painfully wrong. If your back pain started before age 40 and has lasted longer than 3 months, it could point to an inflammatory condition called ankylosing spondylitis, or AS. To learn if your symptoms could signal AS, click the ad now to take our short quiz at asbackpain.com. Then talk to your doctor. Find out if you could be painfully wrong. This message is brought to you by AbbVie.
Okay, so let's see what that looks like. Alright, so there's still a little bit of a problem that needs to fix. About out of time though, unfortunately, so I might pick this up in the next lesson. Yeah, so that's still not exactly what I'm after here. It's still not tracking well with my arm there. It's because I know the problem is because my skin color and the ground color there aren't working well together. So this might be one of those areas that, since it's so close to the ground and having an issue with that, I might handle this one inside of my back. If the cameras are confused about color being having conflictions with your background, at some point you're going to realize you can't actually fix some things inside the Mocap Studio, for as far as I've found. So we're going to go ahead and stop this lesson at this point. We've done a fairly good job at doing the UI overview as far as doing the calibration video in, doing an action video in here and getting the setup and going. In the next video, I'm going to handle a couple more editing issues we're going to try to address inside here, and we're going to import our model from Maya, target it inside of IPy, and then export it back for Maya so we can deal with the Mocap data inside of our tracks editor. Okay, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.